ultimately, how did it affect you when you had to retire? When you go to how old were you when you started at PJ's?
I was 22.
Okay, so 22, and you retired when you were how old?
57 and a half.
Okay, so you're 22 to 57 and a half, going from 0 to 100, and all of a sudden it just kind of, and I'm not going to get into the DEA whatever work afterwards, because that's just a blip, right? But how did it affect you going from 0, or for basically 60 miles an hour, to 0, not doing anything, high speed all the way through from PJ's, DEA, and then you stop?
It was maybe one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with, and I'm still dealing with. As you said, I went from 100 miles an hour down to 0. Mm-hmm. And silence was deafening, as the saying goes. I mean, literally, as we had packed out, we were final suitcases, getting kids. I was still making calls on the gold case I was talking about, yeah, and putting out fires. And then you get on the plane and you fly back to the U.S. and you've turned in your weapon, you turned in your badge, you turned in, and it's crickets. You turned in your cell phone, I say this, and I don't mean to equate the two, but I say I get some sense of what a president must feel like when, you're president of the United States and you're just going 102,000 miles an hour, and then the presidential inauguration of your successor comes and it's crickets. I mean, it is, for me, it really brought to the surface a lot of things that I needed to deal with. 3,000 years ago, Homer wrote the Odyssey, which was about a warrior who had been fighting for 10 years in his 10-year struggle to get back home. And they knew that 3,000 years ago, that equal to the Iliad, which is about the 10 years of war that Odysseus did, equally is the book about the troubles and tribulations of him returning home after being a warrior for 10 years. And, you can read it as just kind of an adventure novel, but if you can also read it as in terms of a psychological tale of having to return to normal civilian life, whatever you call it, after one's whole adult life.